You are watching Nico Evaluates. With over 24 years of experience on Mega Man games, 7 years of doing the Buster Only No Miss Challenge, and countless Snupster Races, as well as being the QA tester for Mega Man Unlimited, I'm here to tell my honest opinion on different Mega Man games. So sit tight and learn. I play the games so you don't have to. Welcome back to Mega Man Exploding Monkey Cookie. I stole that joke from the comment section. As we load our game here, let's head to Illusion Man. And oh boy, do I have something to say about this one. It's not as bad as some of the other stages, but it's pretty awful. The first thing to note is... wait, what? Isn't Mega Man's eyes, when they blink, aren't they a bit high? Up. What? Alright, I've seen it all. I've seen absolutely everything. I think it's time to fucking live. Okay, it can't get worse than this, so let this set the tone for this stage. Alright, let's get rid of these tellies, and what a better way than to deal 1 damage with other weapons. There we go, got rid of them. So the stage has all to do with illusions, as the name implies. And you gotta be careful with the flowers, as there's sometimes spikes hidden underneath, because it's an illusion. I will show some of the problems as we go, but one thing I don't like is how the tellies take 4 hits. It's just a telly. Like, killing a telly feels good, because it takes 1 hit, but here it takes 4 hits, and you don't get any satisfaction from it. Here you have to kill the grey enemy to break the wall. And I think that sometimes when there's so many enemies, I think that limits your bullets on the screen. So, for example, when you first drop down in the screen, you can only shoot once per jump. And I think it has something to do with the amount of enemies on the screen. Like, this doesn't have a sprite limit, it's not an NES game. This stage is also littered with invisible walls. And the background is something that I just can't understand. Like, is the background glitched? Or is that the actual design? And if that's the actual design, then holy hell. Because that is hurting my head. That's literally causing me a headache. This Met is almost impossible to kill the first time, because he shoots before you can even land on the platform he's on. Sometimes in the stage the Yoku blocks sound like multiplies, and sometimes the sound is there even when no Yoku blocks are around. So sometimes it's like and you're like, holy shit, headphone users, they're gonna feel that. And also here, it seems like I know it's an illusion. Like, when this gap comes here, I know, just jump over it, it's an illusion, clearly. But you don't tumble down the steps, but rather you just drop down, like nothing is actually... Those are not stairs, you don't tumble down. So attention to detail there would have been hilarious if you tumbled down the steps and died. But no, there's nothing there. And what my problem is with these Yoku block parts is that the enemy is placed in such an annoying way that you should kill it before continuing, but to kill him you would need some weapons or just some great navigation throughout these Yoku blocks while shooting him with the Buster, because you can't really reach him from anywhere, and you almost every time you drop down from there, because he'll just hit you right as you're about to make it. We just got lucky there. So I don't like these placements for these enemies. There's plenty more of those sections with Yoku blocks and those weird transformation enemies that teleport everywhere. I like the effect there, how the pit manifests. I like that. But again, enemies that are hard to hit are not my favorite. It's just something that I don't get used to. Not sure if there's a spike under that flower, so we'll just skip it. And I'll show you on the mini screen what happens when you're too close to a Hammer Joe. It seems like this stage is more like reacting fast to things than to think about what's an illusion and what is not. And I also noticed that there's two kinds of small energies in the game, and that's pretty funny. I'm not against it. It's just something I noticed. The other one feels more of your health naturally, and the other one just gives you less energy. I just noticed that because I was wondering why some of the little energies give you more energy and some of them don't. So that's why there's like 3 types of energy pellets in the game. And if you kill these lizards, the tongue is still there even if the actual enemy dies. Let's see if I can showcase that. Nope. But I'll put it on the mini screen. I've seen it happen multiple times. Alright. So we are about to get to the spot that kills 95% of new players, including me. Invisible wall. Can't jump up. Love these ladders. Absolutely phenomenal work. God fucking damn it. Alright. This is one. But this screen isn't bad. It's the screen above this one. I'll show you why it's not designed well. So I have to wait for this and that. So, first you kill this cloud. And how are you supposed to kill that guy? You can't. Unless you use the punk needles. That's the only thing that can reach the enemy. So, I'll show you where the enemy fires, because that's a problem. Because you can't really kill him with the buster. And that's the problem. So, your only chance to kill that guy is just getting lucky with this. Isn't this fun? Isn't this what you wanted to do? But at least you have one way to deal with that enemy. I don't think it was ever designed to be killed. You could just make your way up there, like here, and just blast him every time you get there, and just drop down multiple times and kill him. But, oh my god. So the concept for this stage is pretty good. Just the execution again is lacking. Like, I'm sad that all of the ideas in this game are phenomenal, but the execution just sucks. And that's a fucking shame, because the ideas are excellent. Just, what a wasted opportunity to make it a decent game. There we go. We should be close to the gate. Not gonna get that bolt. How are you supposed to get that? The spike is in the way. What a design. We are at the gate. And I'm not gonna waste too much time talking about this boss, because it's not really fair again. We have 4 lives, so I can showcase it some, but I'm not gonna waste my time too much on this. The problem is that he's way too erratic. And forget about charging your buster, you can just forget about that. That's hilarious. These projectiles that he launches, they actually home on you, so if he decides to corner you, the bullets home upwards. So even if you jump, they'll get you like that. And he wasn't even near me. So the question becomes, how do you avoid him? And I think the answer partially is you can't. You're gonna take some hits, no matter what here. And like I said, forget about charging, because that's a bad time. When he multiplies, the only way to tell what the real Illusion Man is to just keep shooting and see where the shots stop. That's a valid strategy. Let's see if he multiplies at all. Because he does stuff randomly. He doesn't follow a pattern. Here we go. So the only way to find him is just shoot him. Or if he does that. So it's a bit of a rough time trying to tell what the real one is, and I think that's what he was going for. It's fucking illusion. It's Illusion Man, of course. That's gonna be his gimmick. But I think the execution could have been better again. Make the illusions somehow different. There's probably a way to tell. In time, if you practice this a lot, and if you repeat the boss like 100 times a day, you could probably learn. And I'm saying probably. You could probably learn the ins and outs of that boss. But to me, it's not worth it. It's not designed as well as I would have hoped, and I'm not gonna waste my time on it as much. Next up is Anchor. And again, I have to, well, let's go to the shop first. Let's get some E-tanks, because Anchor is pretty hard. And I haven't practiced Anchor too much either. I know I can beat him. But the weird thing about this is that this stage again is pretty long. And comparing to Punk, that stage was like 2 screens. And this again is almost a full stage. So why was Punkman's stage so short? So the gimmick of this stage is bombs. They will come down and you have to be careful of it. That looks like the Darkwing Duck ship or whatever. It's probably not it. But I actually like that they brought back these enemies and their shield actually works. Which is kinda cool. So one weird thing about these bombs is that sometimes they don't come down at all, and sometimes they will. I'll showcase it on the mini screen how sometimes they just decide not to come down. And you're like, should I cross the bit or not? Because they didn't come down at all. So they are definitely buggy. I don't know what caused them to not come down. It's just something I stumbled upon. So this is kind of hilarious. They brought back the seal, but now it's like a rock fire version. And this is what I like. I like battling the same mini-boss again, because that's like a gimmick of Mega Man games, like 2 mini-bosses per stage. Here's just scattered on 2 different stages. I like that design. And it's a good mini-boss. The developer should be proud of this one. I'm glad it is back. And that wasn't sarcasm. I really like that mini-boss because of the reasons I listed previously. So again, this enemy placement is a bit... but we'll get over it. Another one here. They just slow the player down needlessly. Oh, okay, the bomb is just gonna come down again. Forgot about that. Some of these don't have bombs coming down, so that's normal. And sometimes the bombs come down when you're already on top of the platform, so that's a bit weird. Sometimes you can like cheat them to come down like this, but sometimes they don't come down at all until you're like here, then they come down, so it's a bit finicky. Weird design. I'm not sure if that's design or if that's just buggy. So, Anchor. Hard as hell. Thanks, Roll. Oh man, he's got Dr. Lights. So Anchor, you have to have golden reflexes. And I can't talk much in this. Oh god. That's a bad time. You have to know when he does that, otherwise you don't have a chance. How do you avoid some of this stuff? I think some of these bosses are designed as such that you can't avoid some of the attacks, you just can't. You have to be like a god. You literally have to be better than the game developer. And since we lost, let's go to save. Title screen. Continue. File 5. Stage select. Anchor. Actually, I'm testing some of the weapons here and seems like most, if not all of them, just deal 1 damage, like I was telling you earlier. Oh god! That's so inconsistent. It's making me crazy. does seem like every weapon does 1 damage. Why is that? Oh, now this one didn't come down at all. So... I'm interested in the weapons, actually. I'm not even sure if that does anything. We'll see. Such wasted potential with the weapons as well, just dealing 1 damage. I used a whole bar of frigid frost on that enemy. And there we go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure every weapon does 1 damage. Ah, god. Oh, that actually deals damage? Unless the clamp does damage as well, it doesn't show it. But you can't... There we go. So some of the weapons actually deal some damage. But it's not enough that you would actually use the weapons in the game. Other than the clamp is pretty fucking good. It's almost overpowered, I think. Because you can just clamp everything or run past everything. So for speedrunners... speedrunners of Mega Man Eternal... Yeah, they would use the clamp weapon most likely. Does this even deal damage? And now that didn't come down at all. Not sure what controls that. You're just gonna have a bad time with Buster on this. I'm not here to prove anything. I'm not here to prove that I can do this game Buster only. It's not what I'm doing here. I just wanna evaluate the game, and that's all. I'm not doing a challenge. We have E-tanks though, so we're probably gonna use them because I haven't practiced this enough. Yep, let's pop the E-tank, if we can get to it. Holy shit, that was close. Alright, so that requires iron reflexes, or just a hell of a lot of luck. Anchor is so fucking fast. You're literally screaming for help on that fight. You could probably do that Buster only, no miss, but it would be as hard as like Quickman or something. Because it's not hard to dodge the initial attack, but when he jumps across the field and launches the little projectiles down, that's where you have a problem. Jolt Man is next. And the stage is not bad, but I'm gonna show you why I don't necessarily like it. So again, the problem, the big word came out again, the problem is that this stage has too much stuff going on. Everything moves so fast, and you just have to have good reflexes again, and this stage really focuses on... Fuck. Are you fucking serious? Okay, I'm not gonna even fucking do this. Fuck this. So, look at this screen. There's so much going on. You have to follow the little arrows that point where the next bolt, or jolt, or bolt of energy is gonna go. And you have to react to that. So, now it's going down. And we jump to the spikes and try again. There we go. Then watch for the little yellow arrow at the top. Oh, and if you stand there you get hit. So this is your only safe spot here. And here. So just, you have to look at so many different places. I don't have 6 eyes. God damn. How do you expect me to be flawless at this? Wait, didn't this part previously have a bolt of lightning? Now it doesn't. Maybe I'm mistaken. Now I can easily take the bolt, because the enemy is not there. That's hilarious. Alright, so the problem with this room is that if you end up in the lower parts, to make this, you have to either listen to the sound, which you can't expect people to hear the sounds. You have to always think about the deaf people, and you have to think about the fact that you might be talking with someone, you might have the audio off, so you can't make the player rely on the audio, which they didn't. But you'd have to move your eyes so far across the stage to look at the little number when the Yoku blocks change. And when you're down here, and the number is on the right, you can't look at two places at the same time, but let's try this. I have to shift my eyes. Muddy. And you wouldn't think that these actually stay here. It's only when you jump off of it, it actually drops down. And that's gonna play a part later in the game where I thought they were just gonna drop down as soon as you land on them, but they don't. So one part later on I thought was more difficult than it actually is. Oh my god. I think I've died more at this stage now than I've ever died to Quickman, no miss perfect. God damn! Can the jump work? Can you fucking work? This stage is where the physics really shine, and by shine, I don't mean shine, I mean something else, something angry. The physics in this game are atrocious. It's not the controller. It's not like I'm using a fucking steering wheel. And even then, the steering wheel would probably work pretty good. So, pro tip. If you wanna stop this mid-boss, firing the little bolt of something, you can clamp him. If that's a problem for you. You would think that this boss actually has a pattern, but then you realize nope. Because sometimes the little audio waves actually go through the floor, so you can't dodge. You can't dodge that because both of those, the bolt of lightning and the little audio wave, are in the same spot at the same time, so you can't slide. So he was pretty forgiving this time though. But look at this. When I landed here the first time I jumped immediately, because I thought these things are just gonna give way and drop down. But apparently they just stay there as long as you jump off. So I like game over here 2 times because I'm a dumbass. Because I thought you have to immediately jump. You should have those platforms on top of like a floor before you actually go straight to that. All of those platforms were on top of a pit where you can't practice on how they work. So the teaching element kind of failed there. You should always make the player have the ability to learn stuff before trying it the first time. So here, a bit of a puzzle. First puzzle is to get up the ladder. Alright, so you wanna do this in a reverse order, so this to the right, this one down, otherwise you're gonna shoot yourself. Wait for the thing to go off. And then of course the gate is there, so do that. This design would be good if the enemies actually worked well, but they don't, so we're just gonna use weapons. Go through these. This is actually a fun design, I kinda like this. Occasionally I find something I like. Oh, that actually hits me. Okay. Oh, mother... Just use the cookie. There we go. Don't you love when Mega Man has puzzles like this? Then if you wanna cross the pit securely, you do that. Not much to say about this stage, it's just mediocre at best. Jolt Man again follows one pattern and one pattern only, and that is unfair. So let's take a look at Jolt Man. He has the arms of Crash Man and the face of Bright Man. It was probably hard to cut the sprites. Make this robot master. Now he's giving me an easier time here. Now of course when I say that he starts raping me. We do have 1 life, so we might as well try again without any tank. I can't believe I dodged the first one, but that's how he can be unfair. Like he just fires the lightning bolts down, and good luck dodging like 3 of those in a row, like 3 waves even. He can just decide how many things he does. He just did 1 there. So every boss in this game essentially just decides what they're gonna do and how many times they're gonna do it, and then just do it without giving you any time to adjust. They just do stuff. and you're just randomly firing your buster and hoping for the best and dodging as good as you can. So let's take the... Like... like right now when the weapons menu is almost full, to get to the E tank you're like... Oh, you can press up, but still, you go like this. But luckily you can press up, so that's good. So let's just kill him. There's, like, as you can see, there's nothing to talk about with Jolt Man. He just does stuff randomly. There's no pattern. It's not worth even talking about. It was just the imagination that went to Jolt Man just wasn't there. I don't feel like enough time was used for that boss design. But then again, it was too much of a hassle, and you felt like you were not in control because there was so much going on in the stage. The graphics and the design, that way I liked it, but there was just too much going on for you to comfortably adjust, and because the physics are bad, you're just gonna die and die and die and die and die. You're gonna get frustrated, and probably most of the players are gonna give up on that stage because that's just so... It's just so fast. There's just too many things going on at the same time. But I do kind of like the colors in that stage, for the most part. So that's the episode. If you enjoyed, click the like button, and if you disagree with me, click the dislike button. I'll see you soon.